Tonight, when you flip on a light, everything around you instantly becomes visible. It feels so normal that you probably won't even notice it. But imagine living in a world where that switch never existed, where sunset meant true darkness. For almost all of human history, nights were not bright. They were silent, mysterious, and unbelievably dark. There were no streetlights, no flashlights, not even candles for most of our ancestors. When the sun disappeared below the horizon, the world transformed into a place filled with uncertainty. Our ancestors spent nearly half of every single day surrounded by darkness, something most of us have never truly experienced. So what did people actually do during all those long hours after sunset? The answer is far more surprising than you might expect, because the night quietly shaped who we became. To understand the story, we first have to understand one simple discovery that changed human history forever. That discovery wasn't a tool, it wasn't a weapon, it was fire. Everything changed the moment humans learned how to control it.
Long before cities, kingdoms, or even farming, one incredible discovery gave humans a chance to survive the darkness. That discovery wasn't invented overnight. Early humans likely watched wildfires started by lightning before they learned how to protect and control the flames. Instead of running forever, people slowly learned to carry burning branches and keep the fire alive from one campsite to another. Keeping a fire alive became one of the most important jobs in the entire group. If the flame died, starting another one could be extremely difficult. For the first time, humans had more than warmth. They had a safe place where darkness no longer ruled completely. Outside the firelight, danger was everywhere. Hungry predators owned the night. Unlike humans, many predators could see and hunt with incredible confidence after sunset. The fire became an invisible border. Inside the light, people felt protected. Beyond it, survival was never guaranteed. As the flames danced, something unexpected happened. The day no longer ended with the sunset. Those extra hours may not sound important today, but over thousands of generations, they helped shape the way humans think, learn, and connect with one another. When the sun was up, life was all about survival. Every hour had a purpose: finding food, gathering plants, making tools, and protecting the group. There was very little time for long conversations. Everyone focused on the next meal and the next challenge. But everything changed after sunset. As the fire began to glow, the pressure of the day slowly disappeared. People stopped thinking about work and started sharing experiences instead. Someone described an amazing hunt. Someone else talked about a strange place beyond the hills. Every story carried a lesson. Children listened carefully. Without books or schools, stories became the world's first classroom. The oldest members of the group passed down knowledge that couldn't be written anywhere. Because writing didn't exist yet, legends, survival tips, family history, and even jokes traveled from one generation to the next simply through conversation. Around those glowing flames, people didn't just exchange information, they built trust, friendships, and a shared identity. Long before movie theaters, classrooms, or the internet, the campfire was where human imagination truly came alive. But storytelling wasn't the only thing that made ancient nights different. Human sleep itself followed a pattern that would surprise most people today. Today, most of us expect to sleep straight through the night. Our ancestors probably didn't. Instead of one long sleep, many people naturally rested in two separate parts. They would fall asleep not long after sunset, and wake up several hours later without feeling alarmed. There were no clocks, no phone notifications, and no reason to panic. Those quiet hours between sleeps were often peaceful, silent, and deeply relaxing. Some people reflected on the day. Others whispered with family or simply enjoyed the silence. Without realizing it, they experienced a calm mental state that modern life rarely allows. After spending some quiet time awake, they simply went back to sleep until sunrise. For thousands of generations, this rhythm may have felt as natural as breathing, until one invention slowly changed everything. For centuries, people believed waking up in the middle of the night meant something was wrong. But history tells a very different story. Researchers digging through old books kept finding strange phrases, like first sleep and second sleep. At first, Many people assumed these old writers were using poetic language. But the same pattern appeared again, and again, and again. Diaries, medical notes, and personal letters from hundreds of years ago all described the same nightly routine. People slept for several hours, woke peacefully during the night, and then drifted back into a second sleep before sunrise. It sounded unusual to modern readers, but to our ancestors, it was simply normal life. Then scientists decided to test an interesting question. What would happen if modern people lived without electric light? Volunteers spent several weeks experiencing long nights with no televisions, phones, or bright lights. Something amazing happened. Without being told what to do, their bodies naturally returned to 2 separate sleeping periods. It was almost as if an ancient biological program had been quietly waiting inside them all along. If this ancient sleep pattern was so natural, why did it disappear? The answer wasn't medicine. It wasn't evolution, it was light. As cities grew, streets slowly filled with lanterns, then gas lamps, and eventually electric lights that pushed darkness away. For the first time in history, people could stay active long after the sun had disappeared. The night slowly stopped feeling mysterious and started feeling almost like daytime. But our bodies never evolved as quickly as our technology. Bright light reaching your eyes late at night can convince your brain that the sun is still shining. Instead of preparing for deep sleep, your body keeps delaying its natural nighttime rhythm. Even spending a few nights in nature without artificial light can help reset that internal clock. Sometimes, the oldest parts of human biology are only waiting for the modern world to become quiet again. Today darkness has almost disappeared from our lives. Even after sunset, our homes, streets, and screens continue to shine. For the first time in human history, millions of people spend their evenings surrounded by artificial daylight. Our ancestors looked up and saw thousands of stars every single night. Many people today can barely see a handful. The sky hasn't changed. Our world has. We gained longer evenings, faster work, and incredible technology. But every new invention also changed the rhythm our bodies had followed for thousands of generations. Maybe that is why moments of complete silence feel so rare today. Our ancestors couldn't escape the darkness. We rarely escape the light. Perhaps that is one reason so many people struggle to truly relax before bedtime. Sometimes the problem isn't that our bodies are broken. They're simply following instructions written long before electricity existed, deep inside every one of us. Ancient biology is still quietly keeping time. Imagine sitting beside a warm campfire, with no alarms, no emails, and no glowing screens demanding your attention. Just quiet voices, gentle firelight, and a sky so full of stars it almost doesn't seem real. That simple nightly ritual helped shape human imagination for thousands of generations. The next time you reach for a light switch after sunset, remember that almost every one of your ancestors experienced the night in a completely different way. Maybe we didn't just brighten the night. Maybe we also left a small piece of ourselves behind. And perhaps every once in a while, turning off the lights is the closest we'll ever come to experiencing the world as our ancestors once did. If you enjoyed exploring humanity's forgotten past, subscribe for more stories hidden in history.